Hey everyone, it's Monday night. My name is James Razile. This is Digital Charcuterie. Please give us a like and a subscribe if you like all things movies. All right, let's get right into it. Yesterday I did a video on how Rey got her force powers and how they've kind of said, oh, she's not a Mary Sue because of this, and they're trying to right a wrong, I felt. Or not a wrong, they're trying to explain what really I don't think should have been needed to explain in the first place, but they're doing it, and that's fine. But today I want to talk about the idea of the ending of this saga, of the Skywalker saga. So at the beginning of the Force Awakens novelization, which is sort of canon, but not really canon, but parts of it are canon, but not all of it are canon, it starts off with a quote or a passage from the Journal of the Wills, and in that passage it says, "First comes the day, then comes the night. After the darkness shines through the light, the difference, they say, is only made right by the resolving of gray through refined Jedi sight." Journal of the Wills 7:477 is the passage that they're speaking of. And I'm going to call back to that in a little bit. Now that is two years old. That passage is 2 years old. All diehard Star Wars fans probably know that passage. I'm sure you guys are like, I already know that. That's great. I'm going to say that is going to play a factor in the conclusion of this Skywalker saga, of this trilogy, and in that it comes from Kylo Ren, Rey, and the former Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, in the Last Jedi novelization, once again, I'm going to refer to that tomorrow. Can't wait. Digital copy of Last Jedi is coming. Going to do a full review of that on the Rebel Scum podcast channel. Here I'll do some little videos as well. But I'll go over to Rebel Scum. I talk about Star Wars there all the time with other guys. It's great. So what we got in the Last Jedi novelization is a little bit into Snoke's backstory. We know that Palpatine knew about him. We know that he probably met Luke, and Luke probably met him, and they had sort of mutual respect for each other in like a small miniature way, like not really fleshed out. We don't really know where either one of them stood, but obviously they let each other live on. There was no major conflict between them. The interesting fact now is if you've read the Thrawn novel, Thrawn comes because he believes that there is a threat in the unknown regions. And at the end of the Aftermath trilogy, the last remnants of the Empire leave for the unknown regions. Snoke, now we're learning, has left for the unknown regions, and he's got training in the unknown regions. Okay, all of those are out there, and obviously Ezra and Thrawn are obviously out there now as well. For those of you that watch Rebels, there's things going on in the unknown regions that we don't know about because they are unknown. Snoke was never supposed to be the leader of the First Order. Now he finds himself there, and he has himself an apprentice named Kylo Ren. And through it all, Kylo Ren slices Snoke in half. If you haven't seen the movie, he cuts him in half. Then one of my favorite Star Wars moments happens. I would say in the Disney era, it would have to be Vader scene, Praetorian Guard scene, 1-2 punch right there. Those are my two favorite. And Praetorian Guard, you know what? I've seen the Vader scene in Rogue One like a billion times. I bought the digital copy like a day before it came out. Midnight or like 11:30, whatever, hit, and they were like, "You now own Rogue One," and I went right to that scene and I watched it a dozen times that night because I'm like, this is awesome. And I might do that with the Praetorian Guard scene as well. Absolutely love it. Thought it was fantastic. But the Snoke scene pissed a lot of people off. Like, people were pissed off. I was beside my friend Rob, who's on the Rebel Scum podcast channel with me all the time, and he gave The Last Jedi a 5 out of 10. Fair, I would say. Problem with Snoke is we don't know enough about his backstory. We're slowly getting pieces. Andy Serkis comes out. He says, well, I know his backstory. Just because you don't doesn't mean there isn't one. We have one. There's a reason you don't know it. Maybe that's for a prequel film, a comic, whatnot. And I thought it would be kind of interesting what if that was in episode 9? What if we got it in episode 9? And I'm not saying there's a big monologue by Kylo Ren thing like, well, Snoke came down and he was, twirling his mustache and he said, no, I come from royalty and blah, blah, blah. My name is Plagueis, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. I don't expect that. I don't want that. I don't really expect anything from 9 at this point in time. I kind of, I think a lot of people, fan theories, really ruined The Last Jedi for a lot of people. Now, that's not the only, I'm not saying that's the only reason why it might have ruined The Last Jedi for you, but that is a reason why it ruined it for a lot of people. So for me, I want to stay away. I just want to bring this idea. Let's call this an idea. I want to know what you guys think of it. There's something out there. And I think it's safe to say that Palpatine knew it was out there as well, because he felt the dark side, something super powerful in the dark side was calling to Palpatine. He didn't know what it was. It didn't call to Vader. It called to Palpatine, but never to Vader. The acolytes of the Beyond, they felt this as well. There's something out there. And Thrawn knew what was out there. Palpatine knew what was out there. And Snoke knew what was out there. And Snoke went out there. Because at first I thought that was Snoke out there. That's what I thought. I was like, okay, Snoke is this being that's out there. They are building Snoke up. No, they obviously were not trying to build Snoke up. There's a reason there was no Snoke-specific novels or comics coming out, because they knew they were cutting that guy. They're cutting him in half. They knew that was happening. But he knows it's out there. So he travels out there. And there's a chance that whatever it was is the reason he was the leader of the First Order. Because he was, like I said, he was never supposed to be the leader of the First Order. That was supposed to go to Brendel Hux, and I think Gallius Rax, who obviously got bam. So he went out there. And I'm going to say, let's say he learned, we know that he learned things about the Force out there that you couldn't get in the known region. So he went to the unknown regions, he learned something about the Force, and then became the leader of the First Order, which is very, very, very convenient. Then he gets killed. He gets killed the same way Sheev Palpatine, good old Sheev, wants Luke to strike him down in Return of the Jedi. Strike me down, you'll be more powerful, blah, blah. And Kylo does that. And I'm in my chair going, Kylo's the best villain ever. He did what no Bond villain can do. He killed Bond. And I'm all excited. And that's great. But Snoke knew. I mean, it might have surprised him in the moment. He's like, oh, he went through with it. But I think he knew. And there's something bigger out there. And Snoke was a pawn for that dark side threat in the unknown region. And that threat is coming in 9. And the only way to destroy that threat, that pure dark side matter, is not with the light, it's not with the dark, but it's like what the Journal of the Wills told us. It's through the gray. It is through refined Jedi sight. Ben Solo was a Jedi who lost his way. His refined Jedi sight, the combination of the dark Lord, the dark side, and the combination of the light side would create the gray, and it would resolve the gray, perhaps. Or maybe the beings out there are the gray, and it takes refined Jedi sight in Ben Solo to destroy whatever is out there. I know there's no such thing as a gray Jedi, because Jedi are Jedi and dark side is dark side, so you can't be a gray Jedi. I'm not saying that either. But that's the idea that I have on this level of the end game for it, that Snoke is done. Snoke, he'll be referred to, but he learned from something out there, and that thing that he learned from is coming back. I like it, but there's a part of me that says Snoke's that in the movies they won't be dealing with Snoke, but I just think there's so much material, so much grand material out there that we've been getting. They've been kind of like feeding us these little like Costco sample size of like unknown regions, dark side. You know, like I said, Thrawn mentioned it, and Palpatine knew it was there. The acolytes of the Beyond knew about it, and I think it would be really. It's just a nice way to wrap up everything that Disney has been throwing at us since they purchased Lucasfilm. And it all winds up there. And I can't believe that J.J. Abrams doesn't know about this, because the Aftermath trilogy began with The Force Awakens. So I can't see him not knowing about it, and that's where it goes. But, I mean, you know, we're 2 years away. It doesn't start shooting until July. Anything is possible. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Once again, my name is James Rosile. This has been Digital Charcuterie. Please give us a like and a subscribe. It really, really helps us out on the channel. Let me know your theories for the end of episode 9 for your Snoke theories. Do you still subscribe to Snoke theories, or are you just pissed off that they were like, F your Snoke theory, and wash your hands of it and just struck them down halfway through the movie? Let me know again in the comments below. And until next time, ciao for now.